1.
Oh my gosh, that was so epic.
I think that's it.
There he is. You guys ready? Let's pull it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh. Hey! And JB's on there!
600!
600! Yes! Yay! 600 mile time. That would be just... So here we are, back with the real supercharger. Oh. Okay, we're just gonna go live, I guess, a few minutes early because David wanted to see his camera and
pushed the wrong
my
button.
idiot pressed it.
Hey.
So there you go.
Luckily we're ready.
Welcome everybody. Yeah, a couple minute early start. Yeah. Oops, it is what it is. Anyway, hi everybody. Welcome. May 23rd. Sorry about last week. I got a lot of messages about where the live stream go and everything. We didn't live stream last week because we've been doing a lot of housework and we did a lot of video work last weekend and we just had so much going on. We kind of forgot to do it. So that's why. Apologies. Thank you to everyone who reached out though and was like, hey, hope you guys are doing well. I really appreciate that. That actually does mean a lot. But yeah, I guess most people normally wait till like 6 p.m. So we do have a few minutes before I guess most people join because we do have that like 5-minute intro. But anyway, that's funny. Yeah, we do have some fun stuff to talk about, some fun stuff to go over. Yeah,
just general Tesla chat. You know, hasn't been the busiest week for Tesla news, but there's a few things that have been announced.
I mean, it's been kind of low key. Yeah. This past like couple weeks have been pretty low key about pretty much all things Tesla. But yeah, are we gonna be talking about Battery Day? I mean, we don't really know much about it, so
not yet.
As soon as Battery Day does happen, we'll definitely dive into that a lot more so.
And hopefully we'll be hearing something about that soon because Elon mentioned, it's been like 3 weeks ago that we'll make an announcement within 3 weeks and we haven't heard anything yet. So hopefully we'll be getting some specifics on that in the coming days.
Yeah. It's weird though. My YouTube here, let me turn off my audio. Okay, sorry. It says here that we have 28 viewers, but on my phone it says we're over 100. So I don't know what's going on with that.
Anyway, we're up to 97.
Yeah, we'll just start. Hopefully everybody tuned in. Sorry for starting a little early.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We need to do.
We're gonna get started, but we got to do it
right. But yeah, so kind of like we do pretty much for every live stream, we're gonna go ahead and talk about some Tesla news that we think is worth talking about, and then as soon as we are done with that, we'll open it up, just chat with you guys, hang out with you guys for a little while, and then like answer your questions. If you guys have any other Tesla news that we might have missed that you want to talk about, it's a great time to do that. So if you do have any questions, try to hold it until we're done with the news section, because otherwise it's a lot to go over and like roll back and check everything out. Yep. But let's get right back into it.
But the biggest news is that the factory is back open and they are delivering all models of Tesla, S, E, X, and Y.
Exactly.
S3. I said it 3. I said E. I meant start over.
Wow.
S, 3.
It's been a long
X and
day.
Y. It's been 2 weeks.
Anyway, yeah, so that kind of is with the title. We have another Y coming. I'm not going to tell anybody which one it is because we have 2 orders in. I'll fill you in on that at least. Originally we wanted the white on white Y and
white on white.
White on white, and the white interior was delayed. And so we ended up getting the midnight silver with black interior. Absolutely love it. It's a great car.
Yeah.
But we really want that white on white.
Also, the tow hitch wasn't an option when we originally ordered. So now it is an option, so we went ahead and added that to both of the cars that we have on order.
Exactly. But we have one white on order as a performance, and we have a one white on order as an all-wheel drive. We're only taking delivery of one of those, though. But we put in those 2 orders to make sure we could at least get one. But I'm not going to tell you guys what's on its way. But one of them is... It's a secret.
Yeah.
You'll know eventually.
The cool thing is they are out delivering them now. You know, people have been reporting they are receiving deliveries of white interiors. There were a few that were delivered, before the shutdown back in March, but very few white interiors. And now it sounds like there are a lot of those coming out.
Exactly.
All across the country, too. I've seen some California, Washington, Texas, New Mexico, New York, just all over the United States.
Yeah, so... If you guys are looking for a white interior, now's your time. And I've been getting a lot of emails actually, and I'm seeing it in chat already. The current performance Model Y is either going to be sold or traded. I'm sorry, I do not. Unfortunately, I don't have the means to just give it away.
Yeah.
So I'll probably end up trading it in because we kind of covered it on one of the last videos when I got this Y. There's a nice trade-in tax credit. So we only have to pay sales tax on the difference in value between the 2 cars if we trade something in. And that actually does help a lot here. And with the plates on this one, I can just transfer them over to the new one and be out a few months worth of plates. So it actually makes more sense to trade it in.
And that's with a big caveat is hopefully the trade-in value has not gone down too much since we originally got the quote. So.
Yeah. And we'll cover more on that. In a future video of what the trade-in is because we're not 100% sure yet. We had one value, but it's been 3 weeks.
I don't know.
It's been a little while since we got that.
We haven't talked yet.
And so I think they're only valid for 1 month or 1,000 miles.
Exactly. Yeah, so it might need to get reevaluated.
Yep. So if it's reevaluated and it comes in super low, then we'll just sell it privately. But if it's where it was or very close to it, it makes more sense just to trade it in.
The cool thing is it's a Model Y. It's a brand virtually new, less than 2,000 miles, I think. So I think it will still have a good trading value because they can turn around and flip it and sell it to someone instantly.
Exactly. Real quick, I see Jason asking, have you heard any stories about roof glass breaking because of tint? Someone on the forum tried to warn against tinting the roof glass. Yeah, that's because their installer broke their glass.
Yeah, I've never heard that.
I hate to say it.
Yeah.
I've tinted roofs many times. Not myself.
I've
had many Teslas tinted and never had one problem. So I'm going to blame that on the tinter. Yeah, and I'm sorry to say that.
It is possible some person had a car that maybe was defective from the factory. There was a problem with Model 3 early on where they did have problems with the roof glass, but I haven't heard about that in a couple of years. So
I know, yeah.
I'd be surprised if that problem reoccurred. Exactly.
And I agree with all the parts. That is FUD. Currently, 110% agree. No issues here, and you just need to be careful when you're tinting and make sure you're doing everything properly. But yeah, and then we've got a lot of comments too about raffling the Performance Model Y. But to do a raffle is not very feasible. It costs tens of thousands of dollars to have someone manage it, and it's a nightmare. Maybe one day, though, eventually, if the channel is big enough, you bet we're going to give away a Tesla. I want to be like the Mr. Beast of Teslas or the Oprah of Teslas.
We're still giving out other prizes. We're giving out SSD drives and all kinds of other things, but it'll be a while before we give away a Tesla, I think.
It would be fun, though.
Yeah.
It would be a blast. But yeah, so factory opening, a huge step forward for Tesla. A lot of people are very excited to get their car.
And also, for the factory reopening, Tesla dropped the lawsuit against the county.
Alameda County, yep. Now, didn't Alameda County have a lawsuit against Tesla too?
I don't know. I know that they were still trying to prevent them from opening, and then they finally came to an agreement where they did allow them to reopen.
Yeah, so, I guess we'll see. I'm not sure if they still have that lawsuit. We'll have to, check more up on that. But a lot of really good news. Curious to see how many they can roll off the line and get delivered this quarter because we're running out of time. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Let's see. Next up.
Well, Elon was tweeting about the Cybertruck a little bit.
Oh, yeah. So Cybertruck, according to Elon, this was today actually, just a few hours ago. Elon tweeted that talking with Franz, they are not reducing the size of the Cybertruck by 3% as they thought. So originally on unveil night, everyone was like, wow, this thing is massive. And then Elon said a little while later, they're reducing size by 3%. And then just yesterday, he said he talked with Franz, or sorry, just today, he said he talked with Franz and they decided to not reduce it by the 3% and keep it the size that it was shown at unveiling night and maybe come out with a smaller truck in the future. So it is a big truck though. It is, but that's kind of what we want.
Yeah, I think, if they could come out with the current one, that would please a lot of Tesla owners, but also a lot of people who are non-Tesla owners, because they're looking for something big that will be able to handle all their cargo and as well as their passengers. But yeah, maybe in the future, maybe they have one maybe based off the Model Y.
That would actually be a brilliant idea. I mean, what about the fact of doing just like a 2-seater truck or like a bench with like 3 seat?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Maybe they'll take a Model 3 and make it into a truck like Simon did.
Yeah.
You never know. But so that is kind of exciting. I am happy to see that it's staying the original size. 3% is not that much. Yeah. But to me, I want a truck to be able to carry a lot of stuff.
It's definitely a big truck and it won't fit in everyone's garage, but fortunately we have room for that. So we're not concerned about it, but I know some people might be.
Did you just beep? Yeah. But yeah, either way, I mean, the thing's made out of like steel. So just park it outside. I think it'd be fine. But yeah, next up, let's see here. Oh, this was a big one. The vehicle to grid.
Vehicle to grid and vehicle to home. There's a lot of rumor or speculation this past week about people have been analyzing, the wiring in the Model Y and the Model 3 and thinking that it was going to allow bi-directional charging, which is basically you'd be able to charge the car, but if, plug it back in and perhaps send that power back to your house or even back to the grid. There's been some of that's been debunked, showing that the hardware is not all there, but definitely some of it's there, like beefed up wiring. So it's possible that might just be for like version 4 supercharging coming up. Who knows? Maybe they'll go into 350 or something kilowatts in the future.
Exactly. And then yeah, I think V4 supercharging is
so while it was exciting here, they might be having vehicle home, vehicle grid. Probably not going to happen just yet. And even if they do have that, it's still going to require something like a gateway that comes with the Powerwall, so that if the power goes down, you have to safely disconnect your house from the grid. Or if you do, it could sense if the grid was still up, but it doesn't make as much sense to be powering your house if the grid is up. I mean, there'd be limited situations when that would be possible or desirable, but it's like not going to happen soon.
I mean, is there a potential that they could put a gateway in cars?
I don't think so.
Is that
I don't think
a
so.
thing?
No, I don't think so, because it needs to be part of the... I don't think so. I'll just say that.
Okay.
But the one thing is, people were talking about this too, because Battery Day is coming up one of these weeks, either probably in June, I guess. But they were speculating maybe this finally means the 1 million mile battery is going to be out. And one thing that people didn't want to... One reason why Tesla didn't want to offer vehicle to grid, vehicle to home is because if you're cycling the battery that much more by plugging your car in and having it charge your house or send that power back to the grid, that's creating all these extra cycles on your battery, and that's going to cause premature degradation. And so now maybe if they are coming out with a battery that has a 1 million mile, lifetime, then you're not going to be doing miles if you're charging back to the grid, but that might be one thing to look forward to in the future.
Yeah, and I mean, not just that, my big thing with vehicle to grid or vehicle to home that I think is something that Tesla needs to solve before they start doing this is I would be afraid people with free supercharging will go to superchargers, charge up their car, take it home, and just use that.
Yeah, it sounds like...
And it sounds like a lot of abuse of the system could occur.
It would be a crazy scheme, but I can definitely see people doing that. So that again, some of the new cars, the S and X, still do have free supercharging on them, but they don't have the beefed up wiring and circuitry and stuff that people...
Well, Ravens, you can buy a Raven SRX right now and get free supercharging.
Yeah, but they don't have the wiring that's been spotted in the Y and
That's
the 3.
true. That's true. I mean, either way, I'm probably going to get yelled at for this, but I don't think any car with free supercharging should be allowed to do vehicle to grid or vehicle to home without some kind of caveat that they won't just go supercharge and then go to their house and use all that power. There needs to be something there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Take it for what you want, but that's my attitude. I just think superchargers would get that much more roadblocked. There's a new update in town. We'll have a video on this coming this week, but we'll cover a little bit about what it includes.
Yeah, and basically it's version 2020.16.2.1, and we got it a week or two ago on the Model Y, and then we got it later on both of the Model S's. And most of the changes, they're not that big. It seems like we had these in the previous version of the Model Y, and basically they just changed the toy box so it's no longer showing up when you push the Tesla T logo on your screen and it shows your car. It used to scroll down and you would see the Easter eggs. They changed it. I think they're planning on adding more Easter eggs, and they're kind of running out of room there.
Yeah.
So now they're just going to be available. You can click toy box and they're going to be listed. That way they can list however many Easter eggs they ever want to add. So not a huge change, but I think they're planning for the future when there's going to be more Easter eggs available. Also in that new version, again, it's stuff that we saw in the previous version for the Model Y, where there's just a little bit more not supercharger information, but charger information, showing if they're like level 1, level 2, level 3. It'll just show different icons like 1, 2, or 3 lightning bolts. So again, not a huge change. And then mention some dash cam improvements and also the ability to format drives directly from the car. And that's helpful because a lot of people had their USB drives and they would try to go and you can't use it unless it's been formatted, and if you don't have formatted the right way, it doesn't work. So now they have the ability to stick it right in, push format, and it's like instantaneous. We formatted a 400 gigabyte SSD on Eric's car the other day, and it was basically 1 or 2 seconds.
Yeah, super fast.
And then also only other little thing mentioned on the release notes on there was that they've improved backgammon just so that it plays a little more challenging. But there is something that wasn't mentioned on those release notes. Something that we noticed is there's now notifications. You can basically see your notification history, and basically in your notification you'll have like a little triangle with an exclamation point at the top of your screen, and if you push that you can see like the last few notifications your car's received, such as error messages or other things that have popped up that you might not be able to see while you're driving, but then once you're parked, or you can have your passenger take a look later on and you can see those notifications. Also, you can see those notifications by going, I believe, to the service screen, and there's a notifications button now, and you can view those there as well. We did notice though on the Model Y, it seems like it's a little more polished there where it shows the notification, but we noticed still on older MCU1 cars, the Model S's that we have, it shows like the actual error code, which is some, it's not user-friendly. It does show still the error message, but they're showing some extra information that shouldn't be there. So I'm sure it'll be fixed in a future update, though.
Yeah, but that's really nice because I know a lot of people have been like, hey, something popped up on my screen. I didn't get my phone to take a picture of it in time. Now it's gone. Do I need to worry about that? Now there's actually that log in your car where you can see everything that has come up. So that's actually really helpful, I think.
Definitely help with troubleshooting, like if you're calling for roadside assistance or calling the service center and they're trying to report what message you saw, now you can just go and click notifications. And this will even help at the service center. If you bring your car in, they can read your logs, but they can just go sit in your car and instantly see what your most recent notifications were.
Exactly. Hopefully it just speeds up the whole process and everything like that. And kind of speaking about the MCU1 Model S's, we have a minor update on the MCU2 and Autopilot 3 or FSD upgrade available on the Model S 100D. Little ups and downs though.
Yeah, basically a couple weeks ago Tesla updated the website saying that it was now time. They were now taking appointments to have MCU1 Autopilot 2 cars getting upgraded. So we went ahead and scheduled our appointment. Unfortunately, we got a call saying that they did not have the parts in stock at our local service center yet, so they did reschedule our appointment for a couple weeks out, and they have ordered our hardware. So we're waiting eagerly for that, and we will have a video showing before and after of how snappy the MCU1 is, or how slow it is compared to MCU2, but also all the new features they'll be adding. Basically, we'll bring my car, MCU1, up to equivalence of speed of computing processing power as Eric's brand new Model Y. It'll be like a brand new car. And it'll also have that Autopilot 3 hardware, since we did pay for full self-driving, being upgraded from AP2 to AP3. One thing though, it doesn't look like they're going to be upgrading the radar or the cameras. And so it did say, we noticed on Tesla's website now, that the color tint will be different on the dash cam depending on your hardware. And basically the color is just slightly different just because they have different filters on those cameras back on AP2 versus AP2.5 and AP3.
Yep. And TM3 Texas, that is correct. the new update 2020.12 or that 2020.16.2.1 does include animated pedestrians.
Yep.
We have a video on that coming later this week too.
Some other new features, cool.
Yeah, there's some hidden stuff in this, which is kind of cool.
Not everything is always in the release notes.
Exactly. Sometimes you got to do some digging. But let's see. There's also a question here that ties into our next topic. Is going to be, we got new wheels for Model Y. If you haven't seen that video, we published it. When was that?
That was earlier this week. I think
Earlier
it was
this
like Monday
week?
or Tuesday
Okay.
this week.
So we actually, that was actually the thumbnail. We went with some 20-inch T Sportline rims and actually did some testing. We found it was quieter via our decibel meter and also a smoother ride. So someone just asked, can you speak to the ride quality on the 21-inch Uber turbines versus 19 or 20s? Also need winter tires. Should I go through Tesla or a third party? So the 21-inch Uber turbines are what we compared to these 20-inch T Sport lines. And yes, it was definitely smoother as well as quieter. Now, as far as the 19s go, I would think the 19s would be even better, but I haven't had a chance to test
That's been our
those
experience with other cars. With the Model
Exactly.
S, we've tested it with 19 versus 21, and it was definitely quieter and smoother because there's just more rubber, more tire.
Yeah, there's more sidewall, and that's what
sidewall.
will really help absorb any kind of like road hazard, like a bump or anything like that. So your ride quality should be better. But again, we haven't tested the 19s quite yet, but hopefully we will soon.
Yeah, we're still waiting for the Geminis
Yep.
for the Model Y, so we'll definitely put those on once we get them.
Yep. And then let's see, you said you needed winter tires. Should I go through Tesla or a third party? I don't really think it much matters. Just make sure you get something, ideally that is TO. It'll have TO on the side of the tire. That's Tesla original. And that will have like any acoustic foam and stuff like that. So try to get that if you can.
The nice thing is a lot of the third-party people selling tires and wheels have sales. So there might be a Memorial Day sale or
Definitely.
July 4th sales coming up, I'm
Yep.
sure. And Tesla doesn't really ever put their wheel packages on sale.
No.
And you can't choose your own tire. Typically, it's a package. You get what you get. Whereas if you buy from a third party, you might be able to just buy the wheels and add the tires yourself.
Yep.
One thing, though,
And
we
then-
could point out, the
yeah.
the TPMS, again, on the Model Y is totally different than what they have on the other cars.
It is. But the nice thing is the TPMS will be auto-recognized by the computer now,
If you
which
have
is
the
nice.
latest, like,
On 2020.16.2.1.
Yeah.
They didn't used to be like that. The only downside, though, is on Model S, X, and 3, you can change your rim size through the screen and change like your wheel configuration. Model Y does not allow that yet. So to be able to have your car fully recognize that range and everything, which, by the way, it now does have that 316 or 315 mile range readout.
Yeah.
Now that we have it switched to the 20s. But I just did a service request through my phone to have them change that, and they were able to do that remotely, which is super helpful. You don't have to go to a service center or talk to any, well, I guess I did chat with them a little bit, but like you don't have to go anywhere and do anything. They can do it all remotely. So hopefully they add that feature though to the car. It should be soon. And actually when I filled it out, I got a text saying, oh, you can just do that through your service screen. So I had to send them a picture
yeah.
and say,
not yet, not on the Y.
So hopefully it does come out in a future update very soon. But it was easy to do. And so definitely if you are looking for something with a smoother ride, 19s or 20s are definitely going to be better than 21s.
Yeah, and again, to touch on the snow tires thing, we know a lot of people, especially here in Colorado, they maybe have those 20 or 21-inch wheels on in the summer months, and then they keep like the smaller, like 19, or on the 3, they have the 18-inch wheels, and they put snow tires on those, and they just swap them out.
Exactly. And then let's see. So the next thing we are going to talk about is the floor mat video, because I had a lot of questions on that. So this is the thumbnail. It's me spilling a bunch of garden soil on accident.
Oops.
Might you know?
Hell.
It was actually a kind of funny situation. But anyway, I'm getting some questions about those too. They fit great. Really happy with them. And if you use code Derek, you get 10% off. But a lot of people have been messaging me that they ordered them, that they've been happy with them. So definitely get a floor mat for Model Y,
yeah,
depending
they fit,
on where you live too.
perfectly. Because before, when we first traded in the Model 3 for the Model Y back in March, it was a snowy day, so we just transferred those all-weather mats over, and they didn't fit. And that's when we noticed they have definitely changed the size between the 3 and the Y. And there were several inches too small in the second row, and in the front they just didn't fit. And so it's nice that these are like a perfect fit. You put them in there, and they did not slide around at all.
Yeah, they fit really, really well, which is exactly what you want in a floor mat. But yeah, we've been getting a lot of questions on how those are fitting and everything. And some people actually even pointed out, do they come clean or do they come dirty? Because when I showed me installing them, I did some B-roll after I had taken my feet and stomped on them. They arrived to you 100% clean.
Yeah,
that was just dirt from my shoes that ended up on the floor mat, which can easily be rinsed off rather than the carpet. Yeah. So,
but they do hold a ton of dirt, or mud, snow, whatever. You don't have to worry because of the lip on the side.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people in here saying ordered the floor mats, but my Y's not coming for several weeks or whatever. Yeah, there've been so many people that have been messaging me like pictures of like stockpiles of like abstract ocean accessories.
I know how that goes.
The floor mats and everything, and they're like, hopefully my Y gets here in the next couple months. But it is better to be prepared.
Yeah. Then you have everything ready when your car does arrive.
Exactly.
You'll be all ready for it.
And for me, that was the big thing, is I didn't want to be floor matless. So that's why we took them over from the Model 3. Just because we're here in Colorado, we get rain, it can be muddy. We had snow then when we took delivery. Yep. So it's like, I don't want to get my carpet dirty because that's a lot more pain in the butt to clean than a mat I can take out and spray with a hose. Let's see. Someone is asking when the sunshade from Model Y is planned to ship out. I honestly am not sure, but I will send a quick message real quick and see if I can find that out for you. Do you know the specs on the cooler? The dimensions and everything, I don't quite remember.
Yeah, but it definitely should fit in any... It fits in both the 3 and the Y frunk, and it holds something like 52 cans. So is it 52?
Yeah, 52.
It's a huge amount, and that's I guess if you don't have any ice or anything in there, but it was a pretty good size.
Yeah, it's definitely a good size. We'll be doing some more testing on that.
Yeah, we should look at the measurements on those.
Let's see, and then I guess last up, we have a solar update, which David will do while I find out some answers to your question.
Yeah, so just a quick solar update. We had another great week, very sunny all week long. And again, our usage is slightly less. We're only charging like 2 Teslas a day instead of 3 or 4, just because, I'm working from home and we only have 3 of the cars in the garage these days. But it was a great week. If you scroll to the next one, Eric, you can see that for the house, we only used, for like the past week, 230 kilowatt hours, but we produced 761. And basically, from the grid, we only took about 20.9 kilowatt hours, but we sent 526 back. So that's like 20-something times more that we sent back to the grid. So we're definitely running up those credits with our electric company, and those will roll over, fortunately, to the next month or the next month. So I think we're going to be good if we can continue churning out these huge numbers. That we won't have a bill again until maybe January or maybe never again. We'll
Love
see.
to see it.
Yeah, and then if you go to the May graph, you can see very sunny day. We have every single day of the month so far in May, we've had more solar than what we've used from the house. So if you look at the blue line, that's what our usage is for the day, and the yellow line is how much solar we've produced. And some days are sunnier than others, but definitely surpassing it every day. And if you see down below, that's showing how much we're sending back to the grid. And basically for the month of May, so far the house has only used 936 kilowatt hours, and we've produced 2,600. And of that, we've taken 136 from the grid, but we've sent 1,752 back to the grid. So we're just huge credit balances that we're getting on our electric bills.
Yeah.
And just one more for the month of May. I tried to clean out so you don't see all the lines, and I got rid of our usage in the solar. This is just showing the grid. And so if you see anything above the line is stuff we're taking from the grid. Anything below the line is what we're sending back to the grid. So it's just,
look at how little we took and how much we sent.
We're taking, so far for this month, we've used less than what we typically take in a day, but we've done that in an entire month so far. Yeah. Some days we're only using like 1 or 2 kilowatt hours, and there was one day, it looks like on the 12th, where we used a few more, but it's amazing how our solar panels, since we've upgraded them, are just covering all of our usage.
But I mean, just on here you can see from the grid we took 100
for the whole month
and 36 kilowatt hours, but we sent back 1,752.
Yeah, I think it's like 13 times we've sent back 13 times more than we've taken from the grid. So we're definitely, green energy powering our cars.
Yep. And then we have 2020 here.
So yeah, this is just a quick graph just showing how March, April, May, we have had that solar production has exceeded our usage. And you can see our usage has gone down. So again, we were all driving 3 cars back in January, February, not driving as much here in March, April, May. So our blue usage there is going down, but our production is going up. So it's just great numbers all around.
Yep. And Powerwalls are pretty consistent.
Yep. So basically, our daily usage is not, the Powerwalls power the house, usually from about 6 p.m. and at night until the next morning when the sun comes up. And so we use typically the same amount of energy. Sometimes when you charge a car at a different time, it might pull more or less from the Powerwall, but yeah, very consistent.
Yeah. Overall, extremely happy. Here you can see the actual year numbers so far. We have taken 4,300 kilowatt hours from the grid and put back 5,600 kilowatt hours. So we're definitely getting in that positive, which is exactly what we want. Yeah. So when we come up to winter, we'll have some in that bank where we can pull back.
And again, I hope that rolls over. It should cover hopefully November, December, maybe even January. And next year's numbers should look even better. So we hopefully won't take the 4,000 or so from the grid next year because we'll be just taking it from our credit balance.
Exactly. So very, very happy with how our solar has been turning out. I don't think we could have asked for it to turn out any better, to be honest. I mean, we could have maybe produced more, but we need more panels. But overall, super, super happy with that. Now, one question, David knows probably a little bit more about this, so we'll ask him that from No YouTube. Said, just tuned in, did you guys say whether you have net metering or not? And in your opinion, if how that works or doesn't work for saving money with the power walls?
Yeah, the cool thing is we do have net metering. We also have time of use. So basically with our electric company, the peak hours are only from 2 p.m. until 6 p.m. And that's when they charge. In our neighborhood, it's like 18-20 cents per kilowatt hour. And then from 6 p.m. till 9 p.m. is like a shoulder rate. And then from 9 p.m. until 9 a.m. the next morning is the off-peak rate, the lowest rates, where it's about 8 or 10 cents a kilowatt hour. During that shoulder rate, I think it's like 12 or 13. And then again in the next morning from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. it's that part peak rate, which is like 13 cents. So the power walls definitely help because whenever we do take that power from the grid, even though we're taking very few kilowatt hours from the grid, we only take it from the grid at night when it's the cheapest rates. And the good thing is that when we sell it back, thanks to net metering and thanks to those time of use time schedules, whenever we generate it, that's what they pay us back. So if we send power back during the peak period from like 2 to 6, we get that 20 cents per kilowatt hour. If we send it back in those part peak, we get like the 13 cents. We're even now, since the days are longer, sending power back even at 6 a.m. or after, not at 9 o'clock yet, but maybe later in the summer. But we're sending power back and getting credits at all those different rates. So if we only ever use power at the cheap rate of like 8 cents per kilowatt hour, and it's only like 30 per month, that's only gonna, it's like, what did I say, 30 kilowatts times 8 cents, like $2.40 for electricity that we would use for the month. But if we send back like 3,000 kilowatt hours at those rates where it's 20 cents, that's what, $60 or whatever. So right there, we're positive about $58 right there, if I did the math right.
Yeah, so in our case, it definitely works out for us and is more beneficial.
But and again, I think the numbers can't be quite right because I know we're saving more than $58 a month because our bill used to be $200 to $300 a month for electricity, and now our bills are like going to be in the negative. And when we get the emails from the power company now, it's saying we're, instead of paying $3 a day, we're like generating like $3 a day that going back into our account. Yeah. So that would be right there over $100 a month in credits.
Yeah. Again, though, super happy with the solar system. It's been awesome. But yeah, was that the last big news item?
Yeah, so just go to the questions.
I think it was. Awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead, hit the questions up. I'm going to start with probably the most controversial one because I don't really have any answer to it. Alan says, where's the Model 3, the custom one? It is still not here.
No.
Hopefully I'll have an answer for you guys in the next coming month.
Yeah, but for those of you who don't know, we have a Model 3 that was totally modded out. We haven't really seen it
It's been 9 months.
Since September. But we got to see it in SEMA. It was in Las Vegas back in, was it November of last year? And then it was in January of this year, it was on display in Japan.
Yep.
And so it is totally modded out. It's a really nice looking vehicle, but we haven't been able to drive it since September, really. So we're definitely waiting for that, eagerly for it to come back.
Yep. Unfortunately, I don't really have an answer yet. Sorry.
There's a long time to be without a car, though.
It is, considering.
And we're still paying like insurance and.
Yes.
I don't. So hopefully we'll get it back one of these days.
Yeah.
Plus, you can't drive it and you can't race it. I mean, we live very close to a racetrack, and we haven't been able to race it since last summer.
That's what's killing me the most. Is I just want to race it. I want to drive it, and I can't. So anyway. I'll answer as soon as I can.
Yeah, and hopefully when we get it back, maybe we'll do a road trip. We'll see.
Yeah. John says, are you ever going to get more solar power walls? I mean, I don't know if we really need them. How much would we benefit from them? I don't know if it would outweigh the cost.
Right now, I don't think we need more power walls because basically we proved last year, back in October, we had just gotten our fourth power wall installed. And with the fourth power wall, that gives us about 52 or 54 kilowatt hours of battery storage. And we were able to go for over 200 hours off the grid. We turned off the grid, and just with our solar and those four power walls, we were able to charge multiple Teslas per day and get through the entire week just with our solar power and the battery power. Yeah. And that was even with a snowstorm where we had about a foot of snow. And so typically, unless you have like a huge house, a mansion, or maybe you have some major air conditioning needs.
Welder, maybe?
Yeah, but if you have like an air conditioner, you live down in Texas or, some place that's hot a lot, we don't have that in Colorado, and we live at high enough elevation that we don't even have air conditioning. We have something called an evaporative cooler, which uses like 1/10 the power of an air conditioning unit, but it's just as cold. And so we don't really use that much power in the summer.
Yeah. And kind of on that note, Stephen Lawrence is asking, do you use self-powered settings or advanced time-based controls?
Yeah.
We should make a video of what settings we use, because we get this question a lot. So we'll make a video on that, but David will answer for you now.
So basically, just to follow up too on the last question, we are pretty much maxed out. We might be able to fit a few more panels on the roof, maybe another 4 or 5 kilowatts, but right now we're at 20.5, and that's pretty good for us. I think that will cover our usage, but because we're not interested in upgrading right now. But the question though was about...
he was wondering if you use self-powered settings or advanced.
We usually use the time-based control just because...
Do you use advanced time-based control?
Yeah, advanced time.
Okay.
Yeah, so and you could use either like cost basis or balanced. We use balanced for us because we have enough power and we have enough solar panels and we have enough batteries. We're not really doing it for money savings. We're doing it because we're trying to be as self-sustaining as possible and generate the most power. And so we use the time-based control balanced. And we do kind of adjust basically if you're using that time-based control, you can set your time periods as, like I mentioned before, for the peak period, off-peak, and shoulder, or totally off-peak and shoulder. But basically we use those, and we just tell it to charge and power our house pretty much 24 hours a day. Sometimes it will kick in, especially in the January, February, stuff like that. We might get a few hours of grid usage, but now that the days are getting longer and our usage has gone down, we are powering the house virtually 99% of the time.
Yeah. I mean, it works out really, really well. But yeah, we'll do a more in-depth on that because it's been getting a lot of questions on that,
so
and
the other
I think
settings,
it would be really helpful.
So just a really quick update for the other settings they have are like backup only, where your power walls are never used unless there's a grid outage. And that's good for some people. To me, it's like I don't want to pay tens of thousands of dollars for something that sit on the wall that you never use. It doesn't make sense. So if anything, I think people would try to use like self-powered, where they do try to power their house as much as they can. The problem with the self-powered mode in the Tesla app is that you can't schedule it. Yeah. And so that's why we go ahead and use that advanced one, and that way it gives you time and you can schedule when your power walls will be used.
Maybe they'll add that to where you can schedule
if they had
it in
a scheduled self-powered mode, we would use that.
Yeah. Arash asks, cost of tow hitch versus the Tesla one. So I think the one we installed retails for like $300, and the Tesla one is $1,000. Now the Tesla one probably will include the wiring and the tow mode and stuff like that.
Or the pigtail or whatever it is.
The pigtail. We're not sure if we can get the pigtail after market yet or through Tesla. They haven't offered it yet, as well as tow mode. We don't know how we can enable that quite yet. But if you're using it for something like bike racks or anything that you just have like a little rack on the end of your car, works beautifully. So some things to keep in mind.
Yeah, it does show, the ultrasonic sensors do show, something's there. So when it sees your bike rack on the back, but it doesn't complain. It'll just show you there's a little red line, and that's just a little reminder that you have a bike rack back there.
Exactly.
If you do try to back up, it will do a beeping noise because it'll be alarmed that there's a bike rack back there. But you can put the mute button so that those beeps go away.
Yep. I am from Canada, and the Model Y is scheduled mid-year. Do you think it can go till September? I mean, based on what's happened, maybe.
It might be delayed a little bit, but hopefully you'll get it sometime in the third quarter.
Yeah.
And I was just reading, I think in Europe, they're actually hoping to have the Model Y in Europe by summer of next year. So, our European viewers will be very happy that the Model Y finally gets released there. But fortunately in Canada, it should be coming up later this year.
Yeah. So I'm still working on questions from like 6:31. So we're going to try to speed round some of these real quick to get caught up. Model 3 dude, why do you think Tesla does not offer competitive interest rates? Because they don't have cars sitting on a lot. So like Ford and all them, when they do 0% financing and all that, they're actually paying part of that for the bank. The bank just isn't going to give anybody free money. So Ford actually helps, and like whoever is offering that does. But Tesla doesn't have cars sitting on a lot trying to be sold, so they don't really have to.
They're much incentive. In the past,
but you can go check out like credit unions and stuff like that, and maybe get something even a little better. Sometimes Tesla will match it, sometimes they won't.
And the cool thing is, sometimes Tesla will actually even give you a better rate than what they have quoted on their webpage.
Oh yeah,
it's not always up to date.
We've had that happen several times.
We've applied and gotten a better rate than what was listed on their site.
Yep. Plaid is asking when the Cybertruck episode of Jay Leno is coming out.
I think it's Wednesday.
From what I've heard, it's Wednesday at I think it's 10 p.m.
Yeah, on like CNBC or something.
Buddy. We got the puppies coming in, checking up. Let's see, Sal, what's the VIN number for the new Y? Sorry, can't say that.
Yeah, but it's newly produced.
Let's see. TM3 techs, are they ramping up more V3 installs? Definitely. So there's a lot of superchargers going in.
Oh,
and everything I've seen is basically all V3s, which is amazing.
There's still a few V2 that are getting built. I just saw there's one that was discovered up in I think it's Big Sky, Montana. It's totally complete. It's just not turned on yet, but it looks like a V2 one. And so there's still a few of them out there. And I think those are just ones that were permitted and construction started before they started building the V3 equipment.
Frank says, I think Joe Rogan was speaking about your unplugged performance Model 3 when speaking with Elon. I'll have to check that out. I thought he was just talking about the Model S. I actually have a confession. I have not listened to it. I have been crazy busy.
We got the cliff notes. We heard what they talked about, but not everything.
Yeah, I've been super busy. I have not listened to any of my podcasts in 2 months or so. So I have a lot of catching up to do. I'll bump that one higher up the list of what I need to do. Sorry. But if he did, awesome. I'm super honored that happened. Yeah. How much was the 1/18 inch scale Teslas from Don?
They're all
those are $250 from Tesla's website. They're all legit. Brad, thanks for the Tasmanian code. Thank you, Brad. Thank you. Hopefully you enjoy those floor mats.
And see, Nicholas brought up additional Powerwalls won't be worth it if vehicle-to-grid materializes. That's true.
True.
Because...
But do our current vehicles have that capability?
They don't. But if they did, we would have 375, I think, kilowatt hours between our cars and the Powerwall. So it's it would definitely be nicer. It's still nice to have some Powerwalls, maybe one or two, just so you have that, so you could still drive your car someplace and still power the house. But yeah, if we could combine that, it would be even better.
Oh,
one of these days, hopefully.
I mean, how many, if you count all four of the Teslas, the two S's, the three, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I mean, how many Powerwalls would that be?
It would be a lot. I don't know. 30 or something like that.
And they're what, 10 grand a piece?
13. Maybe it's more than that.
Okay, he's going to calculate that out. It would be ridiculous. So hopefully we can at some point. John, while he's calculating
it'd be about 29 Powerwalls.
Oh, wow. So right on it. Yeah. So that's almost $300,000. Aren't they like 10 grand a piece?
It
Or are they not
depends.
that?
No, the price comes down as you
Oh,
add
yeah,
them, but
okay.
the first one's like maybe 8,000 installed with the gateway and everything, and then as you add them, it's cheaper.
Okay.
Especially if you get them installed at the same time.
Can you imagine 30 Powerwalls though sitting somewhere?
I read somebody
Power
saying,
packs, 3 of them.
Yeah, somebody said that he had like 9 Powerwalls, and that's a big install. But
This
once you get
just
above
in,
that,
Derek is getting 5 more Powerwalls.
yeah.
Or no, wait, we need 6. We
Yeah.
need to get 10.
Yeah.
Let's just get Elon, just send us a power pack, man. You know
Power
we're
pack
good
would be
for
good.
it.
Basically, that's like the equivalent to 10 Powerwalls, but
Exactly.
it's all sandwiched together.
Yo.
If it was signed in red, yeah, definitely put it
Oh,
out there.
okay. Here, you heard this here first. Go ahead and tweet Elon. If we can get a red power pack signed,
Yeah.
we'll take it.
Yeah.
I don't know where we're gonna put it. We'll figure it out. Anyway, John says, do you have any kind of backup generators at home? No. Between the solar and the power walls, we haven't had any issues.
Yeah, and again, we did that 200-hour outage where we disconnected from the grid last October. Didn't need a generator at all.
Yeah.
And yeah, don't need one.
Michael, what do you think of Elon stealing your AE for his son's name? I am deeply honored.
Yes,
I would
thank you.
love to come to like the first birthday party. I'll bring tons of gifts. It'll be great. Just call me up. You got my number. Let's see. Kyle said sunshades are shipping next week from Tasmanian. So we're going to go with that. I have not gotten an official response, but we're going with Kyle's. Let's see. On says, do you need to be actively using autopilot and other features for it to feed useful data to Skynet? That's a good question. I'm honestly not sure. David?
Well, Skynet was from Terminator, wasn't it?
Well, but like Tesla's version of Skynet. Because like their system. I don't know. I'll have to call some people, but I'm on it. Mark, is there a way to ping you directly? Got a car ding question. I'm in Colorado. You can reach out to me on Twitter. My DMs are open to anybody who feels like DMing me. You can email me at admin@teslainventory.com. Those would probably be the 2 best ways.
Yep.
Let's see. So, Michael, we have considered doing the solar driveway. I have actually been in touch with the people who do the solar freaking driveway, as I think the commercial was.
Did anything ever come of that, or did they?
It's not to a point where we can do it yet.
For production. Yeah.
It's not to a point where we
I
can
know
do
they
it
were
yet.
talking, but they were still preliminary. Yeah.
We're going to have to see when they get it fully up and running how everything's looking at, because we can only add so much solar per our electrical company. So while we could do the solar driveway, it just couldn't be connected to the grid, if that makes sense. So maybe we could do some extra batteries that it's connected to. I don't know. We're kind of working on it. But
Yeah.
yes, I have considered it and actually am in talks with them. Let's see. Anders, hi from Sweden, Stockholm.
Hey.
Welcome.
Hey.
Here, we'll go do it one more time.
Hey.
Let's see. Steven says, I'm in Vegas and I charge all day, like 6 p.m.-ish is when the sun goes down, but then the power walls run out by 10 or 11. So deciding if I should just keep on self-powered or time use.
Yeah, see, that's one. If you want to schedule it so that
Yeah.
it does it for the hours you want, then you need to use that advanced, time-based control.
Yeah, he said power companies here have lower rates at 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's very similar to our situation, I think.
Yeah.
Steve actually said, currently getting bids for solar. Congratulations on the solar jump. Tesla is definitely the cheapest, but responsiveness is killing the deal. How do you all get the Panasonic panels? Will they only sell me the Q cells? So that was like an extra option when we got ours.
Well, plus when we put it
like
in,
an
it was 2 years
extra.
ago.
Yeah.
And that was back when they were still doing like totally custom systems, and they spent a lot of time analyzing your household and your usage, and you could choose whatever size system you wanted that was allowed by your power company. And at the time, they were building those Panasonic panels at the Gigafactory up there in Buffalo.
Yep.
And that's what they were offering. They did have some other panels you could choose. Later on, end of 2018, beginning of 2019, they tried to standardize things a little bit more, kind of like they did when they went from a custom Model S to a pre-built Model 3. They're kind of doing the same thing with solar to keep costs down. So they went to having small, medium, large, and now extra large solar systems, and they're just going, it's about 4, 8, 12, and 16 kilowatts. And so it's not totally custom. You can't get the exact size you want. And in in the same way, you can't always get the exact panels you want, and they're usually going with those cheaper Hanwha panels. You can still ask your advisor, see if it's possible. We were able to get those panels added when we installed our system. We upgraded our system in December of 2019. We were able to still get some panels from Panasonic. I don't know if they were just leftover ones they had, but they matched the ones we had been put in the previous
Part
year.
of my caveat, though, with Tesla was I wanted it all to match.
Yeah.
So maybe they're able to do that for people that still had those cells. I don't know. It's worth reaching out to them, though.
We're really happy with the Panasonic panels just because they do have a better, I think, in higher temperatures, they're able to still produce peak power. And even though our system is powered, rated at 20.5 kilowatts, on some of these cool days in the spring, we're seeing up to like 21, 22 kilowatts being generated. I think with these other panels, they don't do quite as well in the higher temperatures, so you're not going to get as high numbers, but they're still good panels. And I think they do look nice because I think those Hanwha ones are like the all black ones. So
they are, which is nice.
Yeah. We were just looking for the most efficiency, though. So our Panasonic panels do have some white lines in them. But again, we were trying to generate the most power. We don't care if there's some white lines on our panels.
Yeah. So I'm about 10 minutes behind on answering comments. So sorry, we're gonna.
Okay. Yeah.
We're really gonna speed run this. Can you give us an update on the sunscreen for the roof? So I actually have been using it in the Model Y. Still working on collecting data, but I can definitely tell it is a lot cooler, which is crazy nice. Steven, do you think Tesla will release an all-electric motorcycle, crotch rocket? I don't know.
Elon said a long time ago they would never do a motorcycle, but then later on we saw that ATV.
Exactly.
So who knows?
Motorcycles are a completely different game. My thing is, I don't know if he could get his performance he wants out of a vehicle that Tesla puts out into something as small as a motorcycle. That would be, I think, the biggest crutch.
He could always
Maybe
change
Battery
his
Day
mind.
we'll see something.
Maybe.
Let's see.
I see. We forgot to mention. Dan brought it up at 6:40. He's talking about the
I just saw that. Yeah.
full self-driving price. We had it on our list, but forgot to mention it. But Elon did tweet that on July 1st, the price for full self-driving will be going up again by about $1,000. So if you're interested in it, you want to save some money, you might want to buy it before July 1st.
Exactly. And to me, full self-driving has a lot of the features that I use a lot. But really go through and see what features are in just the regular autopilot the Teslas come with versus full self-driving and see what works best for you.
And a couple of weeks ago, we did have the discussion because there's word that they're going to have subscriptions to full self-driving. We're still of the opinion that we would always just buy it, even though it might cost us more. We don't like subscriptions, but for some people, it might be better. It just depends on the monthly price.
Exactly.
And if it's something you can do monthly, or if you have to have it like a year at a time.
Yep.
So it remains to be seen. But if you want to guarantee the price, you can lock in now and save that $1,000.
Based on all these price increases, subscription cost has to be several $100s a month,
And
which to me just isn't something I want to pay.
And Elon's been tweeting too, saying that the price of your car is kind of, or not your price, but your car is like an appreciating asset. Once this full self-driving functionality comes out, the car is going to go up in value because no other car has this technology. So
We say
it
appreciating?
remains to be seen, but that's what Elon has been tweeting.
Yeah.
That would be nice, though.
John says, does Colorado allow you to put up wind generators? I think we could.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, and
But-
I know several people just further into the mountains, just west of us, that have wind generators. Right now, though, there's no way to directly integrate those with the power walls. But if Tesla comes out with some sort of wind energy, we will definitely be adding it because, again, we're kind of running out of room on our roof for solar, but we have plenty of wind where we live.
Yeah. So Steven's talking about Ford engineer, reverse engineered some of Tesla stuff and determined they already have the bi-directional charger in them. But there's some other reports contradicting
exactly.
that.
Like there's some parts that are bidirectional, but there's all of the parts are not. So if
Exactly.
all of the parts aren't, then it's not going to happen. If you look up, there's a video from Engineer on YouTube, and he goes through.
He's taken apart so many
He's taken about
Teslas. He knows
and he has
really
the circuit
a lot.
boards, and he goes through part by part, telling you what every single part does, and he says this is not sufficient for bidirectional.
Can you find that video and drop it in chat, please?
I'll look for it.
That'd be great. Thank you. Let's see. So ARC 310, can you reiterate the MCU FSD upgrade with regards to cameras? They will not be updated with that impact full self-driving capability. So our understanding right now is they are not upgrading cameras or the radar. we will have to confirm that once it gets dropped off.
Yeah, we definitely would
But
appreciate if they did.
Do say online that the quality of the dash cam, depending on what cameras you have, might vary. So I took that as they're not going to, but we will have to confirm that when they
There's
do
a few
it.
other things too. Like I think there's supposed to be like backups, like steering wiring and a few other things. That's not being changed as well.
Yeah,
Basically,
they can't do that.
There's going to be swapping out the instrument cluster behind the steering wheel, swapping out the MCU, and then if you do also get the full self-driving computer, they will swap that out as well. However, there has been word that they are now actually doing.
Did you just send me the link to
Yes,
drop in the chat?
they are now doing full self-driving upgrades, even if you don't get the MCU update. So that is possible to still have MCU 1 and Autopilot 3. You might not be at the front of the line, but it is possible. So I just sent the link to Eric that shows, and he can post that. But this is basically engineered debunking the ability for bidirectional, vehicle grid charging.
Sorry, I'm.
And who knows, there's all these different people,
I'm working
different
on the wrong computer.
different people, different opinions. But he definitely goes over every single chip and everything on that board and says why it isn't possible.
He's a very trusted YouTube source in general for Teslas, so I would really trust his stuff.
But that's not to say it won't come sometime in the future. Maybe they could swap that out, swap out your charger, whatever, and then maybe it could be possible.
So I'm at 641 times, just so that you're aware. Is FSD factored in on trade-in price? So yes, they are factoring that in when we trade in ours that we had originally paid for that. Whether or not they remove it or what, I have no idea. That's kind of on Tesla's side. Do you think Tesla will ever make a wind turbine to hook up to a Powerwall? Maybe.
Hopefully.
I mean, I don't see it coming anytime soon, to be honest.
Or maybe not a turbine, but there are other ways of getting wind
shakers?
energy. There's some things that kind of shake, and there's no like moving parts. The whole thing just kind of vibrates. And there's some companies out of Europe that do that. So it would be cool if Tesla got into something like that.
Yeah. Have you heard anything, David, about the Gen 3 wall connectors for Wi-Fi load sharing features?
Still, I haven't heard anywhere.
Still not out?
Yeah, they
Okay.
do have Wi-Fi, and the firmware can be updated via Wi-Fi, but I still haven't heard of any updates that would allow that load balancing. We're still rocking the Gen 2 signature Elon wall connectors, which do have load balancing.
Congratulations on the 2 Powerwalls, Brian. Passing inspection, going live on Monday. That is so awesome to see. Let's see. Some people said they called Tesla, told them they wanted a better rate, and they got a really good rate from Chase.
And
now waiting on the car.
Another thing about rates we forgot to mention, we mentioned in previous video, is if you do get a better rate elsewhere, Tesla will match that rate. You just have to talk with them, and I think it's rate match at Tesla.com or something like that. Look it up on the website. They will match that rate, and they'll even do it after you've already started making payments. You have like a week or two where they will actually meet that rate.
Yeah. Let's see. BJ's asking, any plans on installing a Blackview dash cam in the Model Y? Or are you satisfied with Tesla cam? I'm not going to be installing Blackview. I love Blackview to death.
Still have it in the Model S.
Still have it in the Model S. I still have it in the Performance Model 3 overseas. But for me, the Tesla dash cam does enough of what I want it to do. Would I love to see some more features, such as 4K quality and all that, like the Blackview? Of course. But for me, so that I don't have to have anything extra on my windshield or anything like that, I am not going to be running a Blackview. That being said, though, they are great cameras, and I am super happy with the ones that we do have.
I definitely love it in my S. And
it's just
the 4K is amazing.
S does not right now have a dash cam, a Tesla cam. Eventually it will, hopefully, when we get the new MCU and everything. Yep. But like, if you don't have Tesla cam or anything like that, highly recommend it. Or if you want 4K, definitely recommend it because you can see so much better, but
Tesla,
not right now.
The Blackview definitely does have some good features that show like your speed and all this stuff, which are missing from the Tesla cam, but that's something that could be added by Tesla in a future update.
Yeah.
Still not going to be able to upgrade the resolution, but those software features can be added.
Someone said, any concern over taking a low VIN Model Y Performance, ordered a used... I ordered and used the show source trick and have a VIN ending in 1,449. Thoughts? I think you're fine.
Yeah. That's pretty close to our VIN, and we have no major problems. We had a couple minor things, and they got it fixed.
Yeah.
And if you have a low VIN car, they've had 3 months or whatever to fix it, so I wouldn't have any hesitation.
Yeah. I think you'll be totally fine. Let's see. Do you know about the campaign for Model Y backseat covers being replaced? Mine were done. They're warped. Yes. So actually, they were done on ours also. The first Model Ys, the backseat cover was warped, so it would not snap in all the way. And they are replacing all those for anybody who was affected. They're actually reaching out to a lot of people that I know. So, yeah. Koa Pet Food, what is the best sunscreen brand for the roof? Are you referring to tint or like a sunshade that you can pop in and pop out? That'll vary. So I'll see if you can answer that. Don has got to go. Bye. Bye. Thank you, Don.
He's probably long gone.
I mean, it was 6:48.
Yeah,
we gotta bust through a lot of these comments. Sorry, guys. We're gonna go kind of quick. What are the chances we actually have battery day in June? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it got pushed.
Yeah.
Current state.
Hopefully sometime soon.
Is it possible to use the referral bonus after you ordered a Tesla but before you take delivery? I've heard that they're no longer adding it to orders if you've already ordered. Worst case you can do is call up your owner advisor or Tesla and see what they say. I'm not 100% sure though. Have you heard anything?
And again, the referral only works for the Model S, the 3, or the X. It can't use it on the Y yet, and it just gives you 1,000 miles of supercharging. It's a nice little perk, but it's not something to get too upset about. It's not worth like thousands of dollars.
Steve has a great suggestion. I bet they only do subscriptions on leases for full self-driving.
That might be it, so that you're not paying for all. That's good.
That's a really good idea, actually.
We haven't heard about that, but that's a good observation.
Yeah. Let's see. Helmuth, I had an Autopilot 3 experience yesterday. A Model X slowed down for pedestrian waiting at a crosswalk on the opposite side. Oncoming lane between us. No stop sign or lights. I've not had that happen. We have a lot of playing around to do with this newest update and some videos to go on. So we'll see what we can try to recreate. Michael says, recently got hit by a cement truck on the highway here. Hopefully you're okay. Yikes. Hoping my Model S will be deemed totaled so I can get a performance Model 3.
Well, it's good news and bad news, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I love the positive outlook. I'm a huge fan of that. So, yeah, hopefully you're safe, though. That's obviously the most important thing. But I would kind of side with you, though. I would hope if my car got into an accident, they would just total it because I don't want to have to deal with any kind of those.
Months of waiting. Yeah. I had a car many years ago that had an accident, and it took months to get it fixed.
Not a Tesla.
Not a Tesla. This is a Honda many years ago, but I'd rather just get a new car if it was that bad.
Totally. William says, did you watch the Sandy Monroe videos? We've watched quite a few of them. There's a lot of them, though. So, yeah, he's got some pretty cool stuff going on. Have you heard anything about Tesla insurance expanding to other states? I have not. Have you seen anything on the forums or anything?
No, not recently.
Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. Let's see. On asks, how does Autopilot do in the mountain twisties around where you live?
It does pretty well.
Really good, actually.
We live
compared to what it used to be.
Yeah, we basically live next to a canyon that winds back and forth through the mountains. We did a video on it a year or so ago, and there was something like 30 curves back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We tried taking it out back in early 2017, 2018.
Oh my God, it was a nightmare.
Basically made the first curve and then we gave up. It was that scary. We tried it again sometime in 2019 and it got all but one of those curves no problem. So they've definitely improved it.
Yeah. They've done a tremendous job.
And we should test it again, but I bet it does 100% now.
So last time I was on that road, just driving, it did everything. So, I mean, if it does everything, it's kind of boring, but yeah, we can do a video for it. Let's see, JUNJIAEO2. I have no idea how to pronounce that, sorry. Thank you for the information. Excellent job. Love your content. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Koa Pet Food says the sunshade. Okay,
well,
so for Model Y, we just talked about the Tasmanian one, and it works out really well. I believe he also offers those for Model 3.
Yeah, and it's like a perfect fit.
Let me look real quick.
It's kind of one of those that you like flip and just push it up in there.
Yeah, it fits really, really well. Okay, so he doesn't have one for Model 3, at least not yet. Maybe he'll come out with that. That would be nice. But if you have a Model Y, definitely recommend that one because I know for a fact it actually fits. I've actually never used a sunshade before, so I wasn't sure what to expect, basically. And it did a really good job of cutting down a lot of that heat. Let's see. The car guy said a friend used my referral code to buy a Model S. How long after delivery does it take to show on my account? You know what? Some were instant. Some
Usually-
took some time.
Yeah, usually they show up right when your friend takes delivery. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's
But we have had some like show up like weeks or so
or even
later.
months later, and we're like, "Where'd this come from?" And we're like, "Oh, thanks, but
Yeah.
I don't know why it took months to arrive."
Exactly. Let's see. Do I have a connection to Tesla? Besides owning a bunch, no. I'm not paid by Tesla.
Yeah.
I do not work for Tesla. It would be fun to work for Tesla, but then I couldn't have this kind of activity.
But we have a lot of friends or associates. We've met a lot of people at Tesla over the years.
Yes. We've met a lot of
Some
people,
of them,
so.
some of the videos that we've made over the years are used for training purposes.
Oh yeah, we've actually heard that before.
At Tesla.
Yeah, some people will just drop a comment or like us an email somewhere and just be like, "Hey, was in training today and saw one of your videos as a training." So hey,
Yeah.
you know what? That warms my heart.
Yep.
Tesla is free to use my videos.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I just didn't like screw some
Yeah, but that was all different
cool
ones.
brand deal eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see. Plaid said Norway will get the biggest charging station in Europe and have 40 stalls with V3.
Oh wow, all V3. Because I
Wow.
know they had some with
That's
40
huge.
already, but yeah, all V3. That'll be nice. I know that in California they've got a few that have 40 chargers, but they're not all upgraded to V3 yet. So hopefully, like Bakersfield, I believe, and a few others, hopefully we'll get those upgraded too.
Yeah. Let's see. William says, do you think Europe will get a smaller version of the Cybertruck as the current one's too big? And well, Elon kind of said that
Yeah.
today, that they aren't going to reduce the size at all to the current Cybertruck, but if they need to, they'll come out with a smaller one in the future.
So hopefully we'll hear that because I mean, still other markets they don't need, especially in Asia too. They don't need a huge freaking Cybertruck. I think Asia and Europe definitely would need appreciate a
bet.
smaller truck.
Yeah. Europe especially, a lot of the roads are a lot smaller.
Yep.
Somebody, Boat Safe US said, hey guys, my MCU V1 just took a dump, blank screen. Will my mobile appointment replace it with my requested MCU V2? Saw your video on V2, nice job. So they'll only do the MCU V2
Like for like,
if
yeah.
you pay it.
Yeah.
So they'll do it, but what is it, 2,500?
2,500 for the MCU2 upgrade.
So if you pay that 2,500, they'll do it. Otherwise, they will replace it with a V1 still.
And there's different options. I don't know if you've already talked with them, but you can get like a refurbished one, which is maybe slightly cheaper, or you can get a brand new one, which is more expensive. But if you're going to get a brand new one, I would suggest spending the extra money and getting the MCU2. It's just going to give you all that functionality to make it up to par with the Model 3 and the Model Y. MCU.
Definitely.
With like Tesla Theater and all the being able to watch Netflix or play all the different games.
I would just think the speed alone.
Yeah, the map, the zoom
speed,
in.
just everything is just much snappier
And also
on V2.
the memory, there's more memory too, so the life of that MCU will last a lot longer. So basically with the MCU1, it has less memory and they were writing to it and it wore out the memory. So that's why people are having their MCU1s die. And so the new ones, the memory will last longer and they have more memory.
Yep. Let's see. On says that, do you guys have a referral code for T Sportline? Oh my God.
We do.
Thank you for asking.
And we love our T Sportline
We do.
wheels because we now we have T Sportline on all three cars in the garage right now.
Yeah, we do.
We have like two different kinds. We have the TSS Flow, which look kind of like arachnids, but in different sizes, and we have like the TST, I think they're called.
TST,
look kind of like turbines. But we love our T Sportline wheels.
Yep. I'm gonna drop that in chat real quick. Just give me 1 sec. But if you go to the most recent video that we did with the T Sportline rims, it is in that one, but I'll go ahead and drop it down below just so you have it. It is good for $50 off any order of $500 or more. So definitely, if you want anything from them using that, save yourself some money.
I see Frosty Flake said he just ordered a Model X. Congratulations on that.
Ooh,
We loved our
love
Model
the
X. We didn't have it long, but we loved it when we had it.
Question though,
Yeah.
is it a 5, 6, or 7-seater?
Yeah.
So let us know down
We
below.
had a 6-seater, which we liked.
Yeah.
And I see John was asking which video. Well, it's a couple of videos we've heard. One was our Will It Wipe video, where we tested the neural net and the wiping of the windshield wipes. They used that, not for training purposes, but in some presentation they were doing. So
Yeah, and then so we've heard some other particular ones, like some of our solar stuff.
Yeah. Power walls.
some of our like older delivery videos where we really went more in depth, which we have some of those coming up too. There's some cool ones that, I mean, I'm totally thrilled that Tesla would even think to do that.
And we're not saying that they use them nationwide for every delivery thing. They talk about our car or they talk about this, but a meeting here or there, Tesla employees are watching our videos.
Oh yeah, I'm thrilled. I think it's amazing. I'm super happy with it. Let's see. Tom said, price set aside, as far as screen layout for autopilot and everything else in general, Model Y or Model X. I can't decide what will be more comfortable driving. So your keyword there I'm going to take with is comfort. And if you want comfort and price isn't an issue, go X.
Yeah.
100%. You have the air suspension, and it's the new air suspension, which is amazing. We actually did a video test. It worked out beautifully. You have a higher seat, so it's easier to get in and out. Overall, the X is definitely going to be more comfy than Y.
And it's going to have Autopilot 3, and you're going to have the second screen. So if comfort, that's your main criteria, then the Model X. If you have 4 or 5, if you only have 4 people, maybe the Y would still work for you, especially if they're younger kids. They're still going to fit in a Model Y.
You bet.
And it's going to be a little cheaper. But if the kids are getting older or you have more than 2 kids, then maybe you want to get a Model X.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I love the Y, don't get me wrong, but the X is still an amazing car. We talk about it all the time. If our X had the Raven suspension and everything, we'd probably still keep it.
Yeah, basically,
we'd still have it.
For those of you who don't know, we bought one of the first Autopilot 3 Model X's at the beginning of 2019, but then a couple weeks later they came out with the Raven model, which had a brand new air suspension and an increased range, and so we missed out on it by a couple weeks.
Yeah.
A little disappointing, but we got what we ordered.
Exactly. And
we're happy with what we got.
It's worked out in the long run.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Let's see. Don is asking, would you get a Cybertruck in the future? You bet. So we actually have 2 on order. We're not going to get both. We're just going to get the tri-motor unless they come out with like a plaid version that's above that. We just want kind of like the longest range, best Cybertruck there is. So the idea is the Model Y is only going to last me, or I say that, last. I'm only going to keep the Model Y until a Cybertruck comes out. And then the Cybertruck will become my new daily driver, and the Roadster will be my fun car.
And again, I love the Model Y too. I love it so much more than the 3 just because it's so much more versatile. There's so much more cargo room in the back. I can't believe that it has actually more space in a Model Y than in a Model S.
Yeah.
For cargo, at least.
Yeah, and it just like... It's a great car.
Yeah,
it really is very well polished.
Each of them has their benefits, though. I still think the S is the sexiest looking car.
Agreed.
The X has the most room. The Y, I think, is most versatile overall. The 3 is nice, especially if you want something smaller that's a little more
agile.
Agile.
And it's also their cheapest.
The cheapest, yeah. So each one of them has its own benefits, but yeah, it depends on your needs as to which is the best car for you.
Yep. Helmuth has a really good question. We need some input, David.
Mm-hmm.
How will insurance companies handle full self-driving if it gets even more expensive and the car is close to being totaled? Might affect the premium versus non-full self-driving.
That's a good point. I haven't
thought of that.
I know that people sometimes complain about that because when you buy full self-driving, it's only for that car. So if your car gets totaled, you got to buy it again on the next car. It would be nice if Tesla carried that over. Like you bought some software, it would be nice if you could use it on your next car.
Yeah, I agree. Especially in the case of it being like totaled or whatever. Yeah. Don says, I hope they make a 1/18 scale of Cybertruck. I guarantee you they will.
Yeah, we're watching, and a Y. We're waiting for both of those so we can add them to the shelf here because we have all the other ones offered, but we're still waiting on the Y and the Cybertruck.
Yep. Matt Domingo, are the Tesla service stations less busy in the Denver metro area? More loaners available because of the pandemic? So I've actually been hearing they're not doing loaners right now because of the pandemic.
They don't want to have to sanitize the cars and worry about transfer.
And they don't want to just worry about transfer of anything. So right now there are no loaners, but eventually, hopefully, there's a few more. And
the nice thing, too, is we do have the Superior station up in Superior. So there's now 3 service stations in the Denver metro area. So hopefully that's, making it so you don't have to wait too long for an appointment. I know when we made the first appointment to get the MCU upgraded, it was like within a couple of days.
Yeah. Scott Veberg, waiting for VIN on my Midnight Silver Model Y. How hard is it to change the color choice if I decide to go with white? Will it add to the delivery time? I don't have an advisor ordered online.
Most likely.
If you can try changing your configuration through your online Tesla portal. If you can't do that, I would call the number and ask them.
Yeah, I would suggest don't try it online just because I don't know when you ordered, but they did have a price increase at one time.
Oh, that's true.
And so if you originally ordered the Midnight Silver Metallic and now you just want to change the color, even though white's the free color, the price has changed, so then you might have to pay the new price book. So I would call Tesla and talk with them and see it is possible, but you might move back in the line a little bit.
Yeah.
And the price might change.
Yep. Frosty Flakes said they got the 7-seater. Great
X,
choice.
yeah.
The great thing with the 7-seater is you can fold everything down and be able to store a bunch of stuff.
On the newer ones, the original
newer ones,
7-seater wasn't that the way. They had that monopost seat, and they weren't as flexible as the new ones. You couldn't fold the seats down. That's why we originally didn't get the 7-seater.
Yeah, exactly.
But the newer ones, a lot more cargo room if you fold those seats down.
Yep. Plaid, which very fitting name for this question, might I add, said Tesla Roadster 2.0 is so beautiful. What do you think? I think it is sexier than Model S.
Yes, we're waiting eagerly. Yes, it is. I will admit.
Oh, okay. Hey, we have a car sexier
I said
than
the
S.
S was the sexiest car that Tesla currently has in production.
Okay, there we go.
So once the Roadster comes out, yes, that will take the crown from the Model S.
So wait, would you daily drive the Roadster?
Well, right now I work from home. So
Okay, so when you have to go back into the office.
I don't think. With a car that's that expensive, I don't know if I'd want to daily.
I'll
drive
hire
it.
security for the office.
But especially where I live now, or excuse me, where I work, I don't have a parking garage anymore. If I was still at my previous job,
good point.
where we had a parking garage, I missed out on some insane, like tennis ball size hailstorms. My car was nice and safe. People who parked out of the parking garage, their cars were totaled. I would not want to park a Roadster outside with our hailstorms that we have.
First
here.
video with the Roadster. My Roadster being totaled by golf balls.
Yeah. So but I wouldn't mind driving it. I wouldn't mind driving it. I just wouldn't want to park it at work.
I'm actually excited to see this because you were never a big fan of driving the 3 because of how low and everything it was. The Roadster feels like your butt's dragging on the ground.
Yeah, but I think too it's going to have like the air suspension and it's going to have all kinds of other upgrades that aren't in the 3.
Fair enough.
It's a $250,000 car. So
touche. I currently
it's going to be nice.
Couldn't agree more. Julio says, Ola from Orlando, Florida, welcome. Love Florida. Will you guys see the SpaceX launch on 5/27? Yes, we're definitely going to watch it. We wouldn't miss that for anything.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're not going in person, but we'll watch it.
The whole situation, we're not going to go, but we're definitely watching it. Jeff says he hopes they fixed paint issues over the shutdown. I think they were doing some work, didn't they?
They were doing all kinds of upgrades.
Some factory stuff.
So hopefully something with the paint too. But yeah, we didn't have any paint issues with our Model Y though.
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
Actually,
I think, yeah, and we haven't had any paint issues with the last few cars, the last few Teslas we've ordered. I think it was back in 2018, 2017 when we last had a minor paint issue.
Yeah. Again, please be nice in chat though, because if you won't, you'll just get banned. Sorry, it's the way it goes. Please don't fight in chat. Don asks, would there be a Cyber Roadster in the future? That'd be dope.
That'd be cool. It's like something from Halo or something like that.
Exactly, yeah.
That would be interesting.
I'm down with that. Okay. Next new model to be announced, M2, something else. So I honestly am going to agree with Elon on this when he didn't recently say it, a couple months ago, said they don't have anything really to announce for quite a while now.
Yeah. Well, but then just today, he said smaller Cybertruck.
He said they might look into that eventually.
Yeah.
But I definitely I don't know. I think the next model we'll probably see is a smaller model for the Chinese market.
Yeah, and I think that's where the same by M2 kind of being less than an M3 or what, smaller than an M3.
I think that would probably be the next one, but when? That's a good question.
And again, that would only be in the Chinese market, maybe Europe eventually, but I don't know if we're going to be getting one of those in the United States anytime soon.
We'll import one.
Oh, yeah, we could do that, but I mean, they're not going to build them here, I don't think.
No, we could bring one here, though.
Yeah, but,
that'd be cool.
With them building out all these other gigafactories and, perhaps having one in Texas or whatever state they're moving it to, that's going to open up room for building stuff like that in Fremont if they move the Y and the Cybertruck to Texas or wherever it's going to be.
Yeah. William asked, do you think we'll get a Roadster update on Battery Day? I'm hoping.
That'd be nice.
It would be nice.
We've been waiting. We
just want to see
much,
something. Just give us a little nibble.
Haven't heard much Roadster news. Wait, he did mention something about like the SpaceX,
thruster. Yeah. So he mentioned the thruster on the rear of the car. The license plate will slide down, and the thruster is going to be behind the license plate. So that's legal? Pretty cool.
Is that legal?
And that's going to be highly illegal.
To have your license plate moving up and down.
I'm going to also say what is going to be illegal is using SpaceX package on public roads.
Yes, definitely.
So if you're on a track, no one cares if you have a license plate.
That's true. That's a good point.
So don't be using SpaceX package on a public road. I might do it. Just kidding. Don't sue me. Or do. I don't care. Why not? Let's see. Model 3 dude has a good point. You'll never give up your Model S.
One of these days I will, but not.
Oh my God, what?
One of these days, there's got to be something better. You know, they're always coming out with something better. But right now, you know, getting that MCU2 update and the Autopilot 3 hardware, that's going to bring my car almost to the equivalent of a 2020 Model S, except for the suspension. But I already have air suspension. It's nice, but it's not worth paying $30,000-$40,000 after trade-in to get a new suspension. So I'm happy with my current Model S.
Yeah.
At least for now.
Yeah. It looks like a lot of people are going to be watching the SpaceX launch live. That'll be a really fun one. This is like huge for SpaceX and NASA and the U.S. in general.
I wish we could have gone to that. You know,
I know.
At one time, too, they had like the Falcon Heavy launch, and they had a special invite that we were invited to go to it. Couldn't make that one. We were waiting for the next one, and then we didn't get an invite yet. So they they haven't done the next Falcon Heavy.
So hopefully we can do that in the future. Because we really want to do that. Let's see. On said, speaking of hail, are your solar panels pretty durable? Yes. And actually, there's hail on the forecast for tomorrow. Yeah. So we'll see exactly how durable they are tomorrow.
They should be good, but again, they have like a 25-year warranty or something like that, and I believe hail damage is covered as part of that. So
I believe it is. Yep.
So
I feel completely safe in saying they'll be just fine. Please don't cut that if I'm wrong in the future.
That would make an interesting video. We'd be be really sad if our solar system was down for a couple of weeks, but it would make for some interesting videos.
Yeah, good content. Let's see. Boat Safe said, appreciate the input on Model X blank screen upgrade. 4-year-old, 78,000 miles, still love it. Is there anything else I should be aware of with regards to things taking a dump? I want it for 20 years. I really think that's the big thing.
So I think, so again, there are some third-party people that you can get a hold of that will fix your MCU issue for you. Basically, if you're nearby, like in California or some other states, they can come out, they'll take your MCU out, they'll remove that eMMC memory chip, and they'll upgrade you from like an 8 gigabyte chip to like a 32 gigabyte one, which will last 4 times as long. And Tesla has changed their software, so they're no longer logging thousands of things all the time. So even if you'll still have an 8 gigabyte card memory, it should last longer. But if you get one of these third-party companies to upgrade your memory for you, that right there like quadruples the life. So if your first car lasted, in MCU lasted 4 years, then with quadruple the memory, plus reduced logging, that will last easily 16, 20 years with the new memory chip. So the one thing is with that MCU2 is you're going to get additional memory as well as new processor and everything else. The web browser works. You're going to have all the entertainment features, and just the maps will load so much faster. It's But if you're not interested in that now, you can still keep your MCU1. But I guess you said you're going to have it swapped out. He's at 78,000
miles, though, so he's out of warranty, so he'd have to pay for it out of pocket anyway.
Yeah. So sounds like he already scheduled the appointment, though, so it might be too late to get one of those third-party ones. But but I think the new one, though, that you do get should still have a 4-year warranty. So, if you go through this again in 3 or 4 years, definitely look into those third-party companies that can swap you out, and then you can avoid having to do this again.
Exactly. My opinion... I mean, this is just like what I would do. I would just upgrade the MCU to MCU2. It is $2,500, but I don't know what they charge for the MCU1. I think it's like $1,100, isn't it?
Or 13, I don't know, somewhere around there.
So it would be like double the price, but if you already have to spend over $1,000, I would just do the $2,500 and get a new MCU. But again, that's kind of up to you, but that would be my opinion.
Yeah.
The cool kids, what happened to last Saturday's live stream? It didn't happen.
We were busy. It was a really nice day out last weekend. We were out all day long. We had so many household projects. I mean, we did sprinklers.
And a ton of videos we filmed.
We did our videos. We did the evaporative cooler, which is, again, we cool our house with an evaporative cooler, which just uses water, and it can be used in some drier states like Colorado. And you put it up on the roof of your house, and it just puts water through. It goes through some aspen wood pads, and then it just blows air through them, and that can lower the temperature 20 to 30 degrees. So it's just as good as air conditioning, totally quiet, and uses like 1/10 the energy. So anyways, we have to service that ourselves. It's up on the roof. We could pay somebody.
Basically, just turn it on and get it all situated.
We could pay somebody to turn it on for us, but it's like we can just get up on the roof and hook up a couple hoses and plug it in or turn the switch, and it works. But we were busy with household projects last week, and it was such a good day. We got so much work done.
Yeah. So apologies for missing the live stream. Also, kind of just forgot to schedule it and
until late in the day, and then
it was but we got a lot done, so that was actually really helpful for the day. Let's see. Vincent says, "How many cars have you gotten from your referrals?" Technically, none, because we're still waiting on the Roadsters.
We've earned multiple Roadsters, but we haven't received any of them yet, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Now, if they were to offer us like a Plaid Model S or something, and some cash, or a couple Plaid Model S's, I would take those in exchange for swapping out one of the Roadsters.
As long as I get to keep one.
Oh yeah, we still have a few in the queue. So,
I'm not missing out on that. But by the sounds of it, you want to daily drive it a little bit.
Yeah. The only thing with those cars though is we do have to pay taxes on those.
Yeah.
And the taxes are probably going to be in our state about $90 or $1,000 per car.
Yeah. So when we win a car from the referrals, there's no such thing as a free lunch here in America. So we have to pay taxes. Every Roadster we take delivery of from those referrals, we actually have to pay almost $100,000 in taxes.
Yeah.
So it's not really free, but I'm not mad.
It's cheaper than paying list price for it. But
I'm not disappointed.
But fortunately, we did earn more than one, so we should be able to sell the ones we don't need and keep at least one of them.
Yep. Matt asks, Model S Plaid Fall Reveal 2020. What do you think will be the One More Thing teaser? Probably Roadster or Cybertruck stuff.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Hopefully Roadster, because you know people have been talking about the battery event, and the Cybertruck is supposed to have a huge range. The Roadster is supposed to have a good range. We know that the Plaid one's supposed to have a good range. So if they're using similar battery technology in the Plaid S, then hopefully we'll be hearing some Roadster news as well.
Yep. Don says, would you make your own Cybertruck? If I knew how, yeah. But that's beyond my skill set. I wish I had that skill set, though. That'd be pretty awesome. Julio says, next model should be a postal delivery EV. It would be the final issues of an aging gas diesel fleet. It's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Hi, buddy.
I know that some other companies are like having contracts with the USPS to build electric vehicles. It would have been nice if
And Rivian just signed with Amazon.
Oh, yeah. So all these fleet services. Yeah, it'd be good if Tesla was able to get on that. But I think they're just still ramping up, they're able to sell every car they have and they can build. So right now they don't really need those deals.
Okay, Steve, you're cracking me up, man. He goes, at this rate, you'll receive an imported Model 2 before you get your Model 3 back.
That would be funny. I know, Jay in Shanghai or maybe the guy we bought the wheels from.
Y'all are killing me.
They might be able to help us out if we do want to import a Model 2.
I mean, I'm down to do it.
Only thing would be the charge port would not be U.S., charge port. So
who do I got to pay to fix that?
Yeah. Well, it might be an adapter. I'm sure we can find something.
Or I'm sure we could just get it swapped out so it matches. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, you might just be right. I hate to say it. Let's see. 40-year Fitness says, with the new battery tech coming on Battery Day, do you think Cybertruck will allow you to power your house for emergencies? It very well could be that that's one of the big things from Battery Day, David was mentioning earlier, is vehicle to grid or vehicle to home.
Yeah, I just don't think though if you don't have a gateway, it's not safe unless so they could make it so you could power some stuff if the grid's still up, but if the grid's down, they have to have some way to separate the power from your house going out to neighboring houses, because if they're working on your neighbor's house, they could be electrocuted. So I don't think you're going to be able to power your entire house with a Cybertruck, but you could probably plug in several appliances, or perhaps they would have a portable gateway or something that you were asking about earlier. Can they build the gateway in? I think it would be easier if they just allowed those services if you already had power walls and a gateway built in. But I could definitely see you powering some devices, but I don't think it's going to be whole house backup.
Yeah.
unless they have some major additional hardware in there.
Andrew Smith has a good question. Would you do anything differently if you had to redo all the solar Powerwall system? What would we do differently?
Well, I don't know. I think we're pretty pleased with ours.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do wonder, we didn't get the all black ones. We wanted the most efficiency possible, so we got like 325 watt panels instead of the 315. But that's going to give us year after year after year just so many more megawatts of power. And if you're more concerned about looks, I might have maybe for some of the front panels, our panels are visible from the street. I might have said, can we have these as those all black panels, but the ones you can't see from the street, the highest, and it would have only cut like it would have kind of been in the middle. It would be a good compromise between the best performance and the best looks. So I might have chosen to have the all black panels, but I still am glad that we chose the ones that produce the most energy. And also, we put in 16.5 kilowatts of panels first. That was the maximum that was allowed by our power company. We had to wait over a year before we were allowed to expand it, just because they have a limit on how much you can put in. So we went up to 20. Right now, we're pretty happy with it. I don't think we're going to need to expand it anymore. We did look into the solar roof as well. That looks really slick. I really wish we could have gotten solar roof, but it was still a couple years out when we were getting our panels in. It wasn't going to be in Colorado anytime soon, and we wanted to make the jump to solar right away. Also, that solar roof is still a lot more expensive. Yeah. It looks nice, but it's still a lot more expensive than
and we have a lot
panels.
Of roof.
Yeah, it would have cost probably over $100,000 if we would have gotten the solar roof versus what we paid for our solar panels.
Yeah.
We're still happy with them, but we could have done a few things different, but I'm still really happy with them.
Yeah. Michael said a rapper, Meek Mill, recently tweeted he wants to buy an S-load of Teslas. I mean, he should just call me. We can do this.
We might have a Y for sale here soon. So.
Plaid says, do you think the Tesla Cybertruck will be light or heavyweight? I'm probably going to say heavy, because it's going to have a battery. Well, I guess it depends what we see on battery day, but I would hope it's heavy. On says, my HOA doesn't allow swamp coolers.
Oh,
that's highly depressing.
Yeah. That's too bad. We don't have an HOA, but I mean, I see a lot of people in Colorado have evaporative coolers or swamp coolers, but that's too bad. That's one thing I don't like about HOAs is that they tell you what
they can be very restrictive.
Yeah, and it's just like there's so much. They use so little power. It's so much more efficient. Again, depending on where you live, you can't use them like in the South where it's really humid and stuff. But in drier states, they're really nice.
Yep. Michael wants to know: is that Kool-Aid in your cup?
No, this is just water.
Oh, that's kind of boring.
It's LaCroix sparkling water.
Oh, at least it's LaCroix.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. We'll have some drinks later. Let's see. Jason says, did you ever announce the winner for the Model Y?
The ball pit.
Yep. That was actually announced on the live stream
a couple of weeks ago. I think it was our last video.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we announced that there were two winners.
So we have heard back from one winner so far. They're in Brazil. Congratulations to them. And we're still waiting back for the next one.
And so what are we going to do? I guess if we never hear from the other guy, are we going to choose the next closest one, or are we going to just have another contest?
We will figure that out.
Because we still have lots more prizes that we are waiting to give away, but it would be nice to wrap those up.
Yep, we will have to figure that out. Let's see. What are your insights on Tesla getting into the mining of lithium to help the supply of batteries? I mean, if you really want to control how things are going to go, and you want to control your supply chain, that's how you do it.
And also,
it's a risky move, though.
But it's also one of the reasons they put the Gigafactory, the first one, in Nevada, because it's close to like some salt flats and stuff, and you can actually get lithium from salt flats.
Yeah. Let's see. John says, what's the fastest you can drive Tesla Model S in reverse?
We did a video on that. Yeah.
I think it was 18 miles an hour.
That sounds...
Which feels like 50.
When you're going in reverse.
Because in reverse, everything feels really weird because you're not used to it. I'm not going to ever say that you should try it, but if you were to, obviously in a safe place, it's actually kind of fun.
That was a while back, though. Was that the S that you did that on?
Yeah, I think it was the S.
I don't know if we've done that on the 3. We still need...
I've done it with, like, coworkers and friends.
And we haven't done it on the Y, I know that. Or at least I haven't.
I have.
Oh.
I got to test the stuff
But is
out.
it... Yeah.
It's all 18.
Oh.
Well, it goes up to 18, and then it quickly drops to, like, 16, so I think it's 16, but... Let's see. Brent says maybe 30% of the world's lithium is in Western Nevada. That's a lot. I'm sure they'll use that up in no time, though. That's why recycling is important.
Yeah.
And make sure we don't just throw stuff like that away.
And when we went to the Gigafactory grand opening event back in 2016, summer of 2016,
long time ago. Yep.
They announced that they're going to be totally recycling all the batteries. That's a nice thing about batteries is the materials are all still in the batteries.
Right.
So after their life is done as a vehicle battery, they could use those for backup power systems, or they could just totally take the batteries apart, separate out the materials, and you still have the lithium.
Yep.
That's one great advantage you have, whereas with a gas car, everything gets burnt up and goes into the atmosphere. With the battery, it's still all in the battery and can be totally recycled.
That's a very, very good point that I think a lot of people missed. Let's see. Andrew Smith says, currently have all black panels and one Powerwall myself, 11 kilowatts. Saving for a second Powerwall to get the best out of the system. Very happy also. I love the system.
Love our Powerwalls.
So
it's something
really
we always
happy
show
that
off.
somebody else is also feeling very good with theirs.
And the nice thing about adding, I don't know if you're going to do it, but when you add a second panel, you should be able to do a whole house backup. So then you don't have to just have
a second Powerwall.
Okay, that's what I thought I said. But yeah, if he has a second Powerwall, he can do a whole house backup, and that means you don't have to have like a load panel where you only choose like certain appliances. You might have to pay to have your the wiring redone if he hasn't had it already. Maybe, but definitely nice that you don't have to pick and choose which things run when there's an outage.
Oh yeah, definitely. Let's see. Ryan says, do you think the new battery tech will significantly reduce the resale value of current Teslas with lithium ion? I mean,
I don't know. I always
it's
wonder.
possible.
Yeah, because when they used
because
to
they've
have
gotten
like,
cheaper anyway.
yeah, but when they used to have the 60 and the 85, and then they come out with the 90 and 100. It's like those older cars, they're not as the values go down just because they don't have the range. So it's possible it will happen, but yeah.
I guess we'll have to see.
The thing is like I have the 100. I could still go if I charge 100, it still gets almost 328 miles. I think it's very shy of the 330 something miles it was rated at when the car was brand new.
Yeah.
So, and 330 miles is pretty good. While it will be nice when we get a Roadster with like 600 mile range, we're still not going to drive at 600 miles without supercharging because that's going to be a long day. And I don't
Oh,
wanna,
yeah. I need to stretch my legs. I need to...
So it's like, I don't know if all cars will have these huge, insanely huge batteries, or if they'll just make them smaller and lighter, and we'll see.
Yeah. Let's see. John says that when you charge your vehicles, do you charge them to 80 or 90%? I do 80.
Yeah.
Unless I need that range for like a road trip or going a long distance.
Yeah, and mine right now, I'm not really driving it because I'm working from home, and so typically I only have mine set to like 50 or 60, just trying to keep it right in the middle. If I do plan on going on a road trip or something, then I'll bump it up to like 80 or so. But right now, I'm just not charging it much. Mine's plugged in all the time, and it just gets like a trickle charge, like not a trickle charge, but every 3 days or so, it will charge up, and I have it set to happen at like 10 or 11 o'clock, so my car is totally solar powered. It kicks on during the middle of the day when we're charging via solar.
Yep. Frosty Flake said cobalt is the real concern for batteries. It definitely is, and that is something Tesla has been working very, very hard to reduce and eliminate eventually. So cobalt is definitely the big crux for batteries.
Yeah.
Joy says, sorry I'm late, but what do you mean another Y is coming?
Nice.
We have another Y joining the family. But that being said, the current Y is going bye-bye.
Yeah.
So
not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just it was not the color we
wasn't our
originally
first
ordered last year.
ideal choice. But we wanted something so that we can play around with it, make some content, have some fun with it. And now that the factory is back up and running and white on whites are actually coming out of the factory, we are going to be most likely trading it in or selling it privately and getting a white on white. So it is on its way.
Yeah, it's a great car, but we just wanted that white interior. Just that's what we have in our other cars.
Yeah.
All the other cars. Well, maybe not your Model 3, because your Model 3 has those plaid racing seats in it now.
I mean, the rear seats are still white.
Yeah. Yeah, and we still have the white seats sitting in the other room, so we can reinstall them. But yeah, we like those white seats, and I like the white exterior.
The white
too.
interior looks beautiful.
The midnight silver metallic though is really nice. It's just that's not what our first choice was. So
yeah, I have actually really grown to like the midnight silver.
Yeah,
metallic.
especially with those wheels we have. They're the space gray
Yes.
TSS flow wheels, it's almost like a perfect match
It's,
of how it looks.
These wheels right there.
Yeah. Can you zoom in?
You bet. Oh, if I have the right
maybe
mouse.
not. Uh-oh. Yeah. So basically, the TSS Flow ones look like arachnids, except they are from T-Sport line.
Yep. But yeah, super happy with those. They look beautiful in the car.
Yeah.
Peter says, have you heard if the Model Y has the same AC smell problem as Model 3? I haven't experienced it once in the Model Y. So maybe not.
Maybe they changed something.
I only had it like once in the Model 3 though, and it went away. And
well,
I
also
don't remember
Tesla
it again.
did some software updates to run the fan more
When you stop.
after you finished driving to try to evaporate any liquid that was still in there. So maybe via software they fixed that. But I know that was an issue back in like 2018. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. On says, does your new Model Y have a Tesla hitch? So it was on the order, but no word just yet. Hopefully it does. Let's see. Julio says, would Tesla use wireless in the future? I assuming charging?
Yeah.
I don't know. Wireless charging is great. I use it on my phone. I use it, or you use it on your tablet?
And
Does your
my
tablet have
phone,
it?
but I don't think it's gonna come. It's not really that efficient.
It's
for
not efficient
cars.
enough yet.
Yeah, anytime soon.
Yeah.
I did see something a couple years ago, which I don't know why it never developed, but it was kind of like a little pylon that it would still be wireless, but basically you would pull into your garage and you would just touch this
pop
thing
up.
and it would charge your car that way. And then, if you pushed it forward, fine, it could move, it would flex, but you would basically, it's not wireless, you're still contacting it, you just don't have to plug it in. And I thought that was a great idea because but it only takes a couple seconds to plug in your car. But I thought that was a good idea for those people who didn't want to have to plug in their car. You could do that. But yeah, never saw anything happen with that.
Yeah. On says if you want to sell your current hitch, drop me an email and I'll see if I decide to take it off the car. I don't know. It's kind of time consuming to have to do that.
It would take maybe a couple hours to take it off. It's not too difficult to
as long
remove.
as you don't have any bolts.
There's just like one bolt that we had a problem with, and But I saw MP3 Mike was asking about, does Tesla care if you have a third-party hitch when trading it in?
I mean, they only care if you tell them.
Yeah, because if we just put the cover back on, they wouldn't even know us, and that would be a nice bonus to whoever buys the car in the future.
You
bet.
bet.
Hey, I got a trailer hitch.
Yeah, yeah. Steve says dinner's here. Got to go. See you next weekend. See ya. I think my dinner's calling me now too.
Yeah,
so.
it's getting the dogs keep coming in. I don't know if you've seen the dogs come every few minutes, but it's like, hey,
telling
it's,
us,
it's
hey,
dinner
we're
time.
hungry.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll just kind of speed round through some of these.
But back to that trailer hitch, they don't really ask you like for third-party accessories or anything, did you? They just have you take a picture of everything.
No, and I haven't removed like center console wraps. I've left stuff like that on and stuff, and no one's ever complained.
Yeah, and we've even had, I remember with the last car, we did have like logos and stuff. We did remove those.
I removed logos, yes.
Yeah, but sometimes we've still had like the wrap on the handles and stuff like that. They still take it and they
Yeah. Don says, how much was all the Teslas that you have?
I think I have a spreadsheet for that. Let me pull it up. Because we've purchased...
It's stupid. It's really stupid.
We've had 11. We've had 11 over the years. And let me find it. It'll take a second.
Real quick, Steve says, speaking of white interior, do you think Cybertruck would offer white interior? Hopefully.
I would think so, yeah.
I really would hope so.
So, looks like, let's see, it looks like if you can add up all of the Teslas, $867,700.
Yikes.
Over the last 4 years. But again, we had like tax credits and we had trade-ins and stuff like that. So, that helped out. But yeah, that's a lot of money to spend on cars in 4 years.
Let's not talk about it. I don't want to think about that money.
But again, we've had tons of tax credits. So Colorado has the state tax credit, and then there was the federal tax credit. So that really helped.
Yeah. Brent says, your man cave is so cool. Thank you. How did you get all the seats in the Tesla Charger? Tesla Charger I actually found on eBay after I made one for my garage because Tesla themselves wouldn't sell me one. It was actually a store unit that they threw out.
And the lights
work. It's pretty sweet. And the
actual supercharger V2 cable.
Yep, there you go. The seats that David is sitting in and these other ones are actually from totaled Model X's, built a little couch out of them. So yeah, kind of cool. Thank you. It's kind of nice down here because I got my whole computer setups and everything. We got gaming station here. for live streaming gaming and YouTube, and this is where I edit and everything. We have another gaming station here with one of the other computers, so we can play games and everything. Yeah, it's a great area. Let's see. Tom says, do you wash your Tesla through a car wash tunnel or hand wash? Hand wash, because I don't trust those to not scratch my paint. I don't trust them at all. Let's see.
Oh, look, now we have all 3 dogs. So I think that's a sign that, oh, wow, they're just all
everybody's
lining
here.
up, smelling each other. Yeah, wow.
Okay,
so that means we got to be cutting it closer soon because they're all hungry. They want some food. Oh, somebody did ask how much food we go through. I think it's about 30 pounds a week. So I know it's 120 pounds a month. So it's a lot.
It's a lot.
So,
yeah. Let's see. Do you see any benefits of owning a Model 3 now that the Y is here? Can I be honest?
It's slightly smaller if you want a slightly small. But again, it's only a couple inches smaller or whatever. Only thing is it's slightly cheaper would be the only thing.
If you handed me a Model 3 and a Model Y, and we're like, hey, you can only drive one the rest of your life, I'd take the Model Y.
Yeah, me too. But again,
if the Model Y was here before the Model 3, I would have never. I don't know if I would have had a Model 3.
The 3 is still nice, but it's a little bit smaller on the inside, not as much cargo room. So I can't think of any benefit unless you're going to race it, maybe, and you know.
Yeah. But very few people need to worry about that.
People like how it's more nimble.
Yeah, it is.
More connected to the road. But I don't race my cars, so it's like I would take a Y, yeah.
Let's see. Ryan says, when did you order the Y? I don't know. We ordered one like opening day. We ordered one last year and one this year.
Yeah.
We've ordered a couple. Let's see. Jason says, do you happen to know how much the terabyte or 512 gig can hold in terms of Sentry and dash clips? I don't, but I have a 512 in my car, and I've never had to
500, but yeah.
Or yeah, I've never had to like reformat it or delete anything. So a lot would be my guess. So let's see. Have you bought FSD through the app, and do you have it covered through insurance? So it was in all the FSDs we have purchased were purchased with the car. We haven't bought any after the fact.
Yeah, I think my mom bought hers via the app. Yeah,
that's true.
But or actually, no. I think she bought it. Wasn't it available on the website as well?
I honestly don't remember.
I'll have to ask her. I know she bought it afterwards, but on all of our cars, we've bought it. When buying the car.
Since we bought it with the car, I would say it's definitely included with insurance. Now, if you buy it post, I would probably tell your insurance about that to make sure that you are covered with that. Ryan says, having solar installed in July, debating whether to get a Powerwall. Do you think they'll have power advancements during battery day?
I know that's a good question because I saw somebody else asking about that the other day, and I don't know. It's like they haven't really changed those Powerwalls in like, 3 years? So, they had the Powerwall, the first version, which was a lot smaller, like half the size, and they came out with Powerwall 2. They really haven't changed since, 2017, I don't think. So if they do have advancements, then maybe, they would finally have a newer Powerwall. I don't really want that because I don't want to swap ours out. They're great, but I don't want to have to go through an upgrade because ours are working fine. But I can see how that would be a tough decision to buy one or not. But
I mean, I honestly don't think so, but that's just me saying me.
But also one thing to consider is that the tax credits are going down every year. So if you buy one now, you're gonna save. I think you'll get like 26% as a tax credit, and I think it only goes down to like 22% next year. So if you're thinking of holding off and trying to do it later, I think you have to have it installed, depending on where you're at, when you get your solar installed. I could be wrong, but you need to research that.
Some states I think are different. So yeah, definitely do some research on that. Yeah. Let's see. Rick says, picking up my first Tesla on Friday, Model 3 red long range. Congratulations. Hopefully you enjoy that car so much. They're great cars.
Yep.
Don says, have you been to a drag race with your Tesla? Oh yeah, I've raced Teslas, mainly Model 3s a lot. I have raced Model 3s at Buttonwillow. I drove it at Laguna Seca.
Bandimere, drag races at Bandimere.
Pikes Peak International Raceway. Yeah. Model 3, if you want to race your car, is by far the best Tesla to race. Currently. Let's see. Tom says, for Model X, which seat arrangements do you like? 5, 6, or 7? I like the 6 the best, but I wish those 2 seats would fold flat.
Yeah. Exactly, because again, that's the reason why we didn't buy the 7-seater, because at the time that center seat didn't fold at all, so we got the 6-seater. Gives you more legroom for those rear passengers. Now that 7-seat does fold flat, might have to reconsider, but not in the market for an X right now.
Oh, honestly, there was a Model Y at Bandamere this past Wednesday.
Oh, really?
I know I was driving by as a bunch of cars were pulling in and was just like, hi. But no, it was not me, unfortunately. Let's see. Nicholas, looking to buy a Model 3 for my first EV. Congratulations. Currently live in an apartment with no option for home charging, so I know it will require some flexibility. Thoughts? Do you think it's feasible? Yeah, it's definitely feasible. A lot of people do it. You're just going to have to rely more on either the Tesla supercharging network or third-party chargers. One good thing, too, that you could check is see if your employer will install a charger for you.
Yeah, because
some are more than willing to do that because they get great tax incentives.
Yeah, my previous employer actually had like 36 solar-powered level 2 charging stations, and I charged for like the first year or two that I owned my Model S 90D. I just charged it at work like once a week, and so you can definitely do that, just charging once or twice a week, especially if you get it for free at work. But if you don't have it at work, you're going to have to use those third-party networks or the superchargers. It takes a little time of your day if you're not doing it at work, though. It's convenient because I would just get to work, plug in, go into work, and it'll be done when sometime throughout the day. If you're going to have to go to a supercharger every week, it's a little more,
It's a little bit more planning, but it's definitely feasible.
No, currently, though, Eric does charge his Model Y from time to time at a supercharger because there's one close to us, and we do it just to get out of the house now because since we've been in lockdown for the last couple of months, it's like I haven't been anywhere. So my one time out of the week to go someplace is to go to the supercharger, and then we get food from a nearby restaurant, just trying to keep those restaurants in business.
Yeah.
So it can be done, but it's a little more work if it's at a place you would go to normally, then it's not a hassle at all. But if it's, you have to drive to it and it's not on your way or it's not at some business that you normally frequent, then it can be a hassle after a while.
Exactly.
I was going to say welcome to Courtney. She just subbed, so thanks.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, sweet. Let's see. I think that was pretty much it. Helmut said Hertz filed bankruptcy recently. Should Tesla start a rental service fleet after further production ramp up and additional gigafactory? Thinking about robo-taxis are still years out. I don't think they should right now. I don't think it's a great idea for them at the current state to do that. Maybe in the future.
Sometime maybe in the future, but right now they're not there yet with the technology and all that, and the financing and all that. They don't.
Yeah. Don says, have you rid in the Cybertruck during the Cybertruck unveiling? Yes, we were fortunate enough to do that, and it was amazing.
It was a quick trip, but it was nice.
It was a very quick trip, but like room-wise, because you sat in the back.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of room in the back.
Awesome.
And there were 3 of us.
Yeah.
There were 3 of us in the back, and I can't remember if there were only 2 people in the front at that time, but there was plenty of room in there.
Yeah.
Plenty of headroom too.
Yeah, it was really awesome. Julio said, how many Powerwalls does it take to run our household? We got by with how many could we do? 2? 2 technically to do a whole house backup is what
you could do it with 2. We had 3 initially, and that kept us going just fine. But then we earned a 4th one, so we have 4. But you could run a whole house with 2. The more you have, the longer you can go, and also the more solar you have, the faster you can charge those Powerwalls back up and keep that household running off the grid if necessary.
Yeah.
If there's an outage.
Yeah. Well, we have been live for almost 2 hours now, so I think it is about time that we cut it. Again, if you guys have any further questions, as soon as this video is processed by YouTube and gets published as just a regular video, definitely drop them in the comments there, and we will try to answer anything. But we will be having another live stream next Saturday. But real quick, before we go, I want to give a huge thank you to our channel sponsor, Abstract Ocean. If you're looking to accessorize your Model S, X3, and now Y, definitely check them out. And using code Tesla Inventory will get you 15% off your first order. And I actually have some fun stuff here. These are actually really dope. These are their bling decals. Check this out. So
they're very different.
You can have this on the front and rear of your Tesla.
Turn it like at an angle so it's like
I absolutely love it.
Sparkles. It's like bejeweled or something like that.
It is
bedazzled.
It actually, I can't wait. So I don't really have my Model 3 here anymore.
Wait, you're not gonna put that on your car, though, are you?
I might just go to a supercharger and slap it on someone's Tesla.
Oh no!
I'm just kidding.
Or you could offer it to. You could ask them first.
Yeah. But they also now have these. Actually, I need to make sure. Can you make sure these are still on their website? These are on their website now? I don't want to like unveil something that I shouldn't. I think it is. I'm like 99%. Let me just double check because that would be hilarious.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah.
That would be hilarious if I did that. I think it is.
Like,
I'm like
oops.
99%. Let me just double check.
Basically, we.
Oh yeah, it is. Okay.
We get
Model
some-
Y emblems. Here we go. So this is the chrome version right here. So you can slap that on the back of your Model Y. And they also make it in matte black, which is really awesome. I'm actually saving this one for my white one as soon as it gets here. But I'll show you that real quick. Pretty cool stuff here. So that's the matte black one. Really dope.
And it just
stuff
and
here.
it matches the the Model S and the Model X.
Exactly, because they didn't do that for Model Y, but now you can do it yourself. And actually, one of my most favorite things here is definitely going to be this. This is the red and matte black emblem. So you get a couple things here. This is like the Tesla lettering. So this you actually stick on your car where you want it, and it's got the cutouts. And then you have all the Tesla letters
Okay.
in here, so they don't go everywhere.
Oh,
But
yeah,
they're like matte black
Very
with
efficient
red.
layout there.
Yeah, exactly. Super efficient. And then you just put them where they need to go, and you have Tesla on the back, much like Franz had on his Model 3 and like the early ones we saw. But yeah, a couple of like really cool products there. I just wanted to show you guys. And also we have a bunch of their like puddle lights in all our cars. They're really awesome.
Very bright.
So definitely check those out. And don't forget, Tesla inventory will get you 15% off your first purchase. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. We'll go ahead and see you all next week, though. Stay safe. Make sure, get out there, drive your Teslas a little bit. Show them some love because some have not been driven as much.
Yeah.
So we need to get out and drive that Model S
I think
a
we're
little
taking
bit.
mine out tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, we are.
A little road trip.
We are. A little mini road trip tomorrow. But yeah, otherwise, we will see you guys next week. Thank you so much. Definitely smash that thumbs up button. Go and click here to subscribe here for some other ones. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.